At the Ott Kimm Conservatory in Three Forks, the melody of life is best heard in early spring, when the Pacific tree frogs come out of hibernation and the male frogs sing to the females.
This is a frog breeding swamp, and this is where the frogs come to sing and breed, and they lay their eggs in the water.
To the female, the guy with the loudest pipes is the most attractive suitor. The frogs come to the swamp to breed, but they live all over the conservatory.
Usually during the day they go back to their territories. But when it comes evening time and the music's playing, they migrate.
This is another popular spot to breed. The eggs on the lily pad will hatch in 2 or 3 weeks. Here we find an especially vocal Pacific tree frog.
They call them Hollywood frogs. If you watch a movie and it's got frogs in the background, it's usually these boys.
The female lays thousands of eggs, but only a few of the eggs will survive.
Everything eats frogs, the poor guys.
But John Hemmighouse has created an environment where the frogs' chances of survival are greater. Every plant nurtures the frogs and their living space.
These are all swamp plants. So there's the irises, there's the swamp marigold, marsh marigold, there's cardinal flower.
Frogs are a sign of a healthy environment as a whole.
They're environmental indicator species. The health of the system can be identified by the health of the frogs.
From the roof of his greenhouse, he collects snow and rainwater to irrigate his plants.
Now, I hand water everything.
Almost 50 years ago, John built the conservatory to create a Zone 8 growing environment. It's what you'll find in wetter climates with longer growing seasons than Montana. He grew up in a Pennsylvania family that has operated large greenhouses for generations.
That was a place to play, and that's where I learned how to propagate plants. I watched the florists doing it, so I learned how to propagate plants by making cuttings.
When he came to Montana, he wanted to raise quality pears, peaches, and cherries at the same time. He needed an enclosed system.
In warm climates, you don't have good pears. And the peaches and cherries and stuff, they like the warmer climates. So I wanted to get in the middle, and Zone 8 was kind of in the middle where I could have good of both. This is a Lappin's variety of sweet cherry, similar to what grows up at the Flathead Lake.
He grows lemons, nectarines, and kumquats.
This would be subtropical.
This stunning flowering cherry tree is called a snow fountain. He bought a healthy East Coast dogwood to the conservatory because many of them were dying back east.
To preserve it as a specimen that is away from all the diseased ones. And that's a ponytail palm. At the bottom is the bulb.
The bulb stores water. John's flowers can overwhelm the senses like this primrose.
It's beautiful. I mean, the artistic nature of a blossom is just phenomenal. This is Daphne odora, this is the white, and then this is the pink Carol Mack Daphne. This is a Cymbidium orchid.
The orchid is in its prime. It's hard to take your eyes off it. John says when people spend time in here, they feel better. Without plants, he says, we couldn't exist.
The quote was, "All nature exists to make man well." Henry David Thoreau.
Now, you can take pictures of the conservatory, but what you cannot experience in video is the pleasant aroma of all these plants and their rich, fertile soil.
This is the key, this is the beginning, and it's all out of the soil comes this, which makes us here.
The soil. That's why you need to see John's 20-some-year collection of rocks.
As these rocks break down, they contain the elements that are plant nutrients.
It's those elements that make up the soil here. The minerals, phosphorus, calcium, feldspar for potassium. The soil gives life.
It's an example of how to cooperate with nature, and I use it as an educational tool for children and young people and students that I worked with over the years to get an appreciation for nature.
In those years, the plantsman has worked to create a world of diversity.
The more diverse a system is, the more harmonic it is.
That diversity can be found outside.
This is the arboretum that goes with the conservatory. This is my conifer collection. I've collected conifers for 45 years from around the world.
These evergreens introduce a world of contrast at the Ott Kimm Conservatory, bringing everything together in a circle of life. Kevin Mackey, NBC, Montana.